Okay, cool. So I want to welcome everyone to the resume workshop. This is awesome for a couple reasons. Number one, we just came off of an unbelievable and amazing SC2 conference, and I don't know about you guys, but I'm just like on fire. Like I'm just like I just want to start selling. Like even for me, like I want to start selling. Like there's so many things that I wish I could have done differently when I first started that I know I can start doing now, especially in the fall, because I'm looking to sell a lot in the fall. And for those of you who still have the next couple of weeks, you have a couple things to keep in mind. Number one, you still have to earn your spot for AGL school for those of you excited about management training. Number two, finish the summer strong, because this is the opportunity where most of you are at your highest commissions, and this is where you can really make a ton of money before you go away to school. And with that, you can even gain a higher commissions. That way, when you are going to school like Anthony, you can work part-time and make what? Full-time, right? And you can start working just on the weekends. I mean, Anthony's goal is on the bare minimum to sell $1,000 a month. What's $1,000 a month? It's one average order a week. That's one demo a week, right? Maybe two if he has some extra time around his football, right? So even if he's only selling $1,000 a month, at 30% he's making $300 a month. I mean, that's pretty nice. $75 a week, that gets you by depending on your meal plans and stuff like that you have going on. But just something to keep in mind. It's always good to have that extra cash. The reason why we're doing this resume workshop right now is because there's a lot of stuff that you guys have already accomplished in the short amount of time that you worked here, whether you've been here for a couple of weeks, a couple of months. There's a lot of things that you can already put on your resume that A, not only stand out for a Cutco resume, but B, also stand out to any other resume when you're applying anywhere else, if you do apply anywhere else, right? For me, I was like, oh yeah, it's gonna be great when I go apply other places, and I haven't applied to other places yet. But I do know that when I go to apply to other places, they're gonna be like, wow, like that's awesome. You've been able to do that much in 3 years, like that's impressive. So for the 10% of you that are here because you just want to learn how to write a resume, that's cool. For 10% of you that are here because like you're really fired up to write a resume and have it for AGL school when you go interview this week with Jeff. For the 80% of you that are just here because you want to learn and you're excited about it and whatever the other case might be, I'm excited for all of you guys because I remember this gave me a lot of, again, perspective on what I had already accomplished and how significant it already means to other people. I remember after I put mine together, I was like, wow, this is like, I'm reading it, I'm impressed. Right? Like I'm reading it, I'm impressed as to what I've already done in regards to like being an assistant manager and saying that as a 19-year-old assistant manager, I've interviewed well over 1,000 people. I've accepted over 540 people. And by the way, this is like one summer. I remember talking to my mom and she goes, I was like, hey mom, I was looking at my stats today. Guess how many people I've interviewed over the summer? She's I don't know, like 50. Like higher, baby, right? she's like, I don't know, 150, 200. I was like, more. She goes, Ricky, you've interviewed more than 250 people? I'm like, Mom, I've interviewed over 1,000 people this past summer. She goes, but it's only been like 3 months. I'm like, I know, it's crazy, right? I was like, you know how much I've sold? How much? I was like, I've sold over $45,000 in Cutco. Like, to me, honestly, I think $45,000, like, that's whack. I mean, Alex is going to sell that in his first summer, right? Which, again, is something that stands on a resume. But even then, the fact that you've been able to sell over $45,000 of high-quality kitchen cutlery, the fact that you've gotten people to take out thousands of dollars out of their bank accounts to buy from you, right? That's a big deal. The fact that you've been able to generate over 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1,000 leads in a matter of months and generate that on your own, that's a big deal, right? And companies look for that. Companies look for people who can create on their own. Companies look for people who can be independent. Companies look for people who can be self-motivated, so to speak. And I'm sure you guys going to SC2, you saw a lot of people that are self-motivated. I mean, seeing that one guy sold $40,000, like that's awesome. Like just seeing that anything is possible, it just depends how hard you want or how bad you want or how hard are you willing to work, right? So the thing that's important right now to keep in mind is that this is really an opportunity for you to also know how to write a resume later on and how to make even the little things a big deal. Okay, so like our President's Club Awards and stuff like that, like that's huge. So my objective for all of you guys right now is for you to understand how to write a resume, how to be able to do it later on, right, when you're applying for different places, and how to teach this maybe one day, how to teach this talk. My other objective is for you guys to put just a badass resume together to impress your friends, your family, and of course future employers. The second thing that I want you guys to keep in mind is that putting together a resume is things that, I mean, has anyone ever taken a class or anyone ever gone anywhere where they taught you how to put a resume together? Yeah. So and it's usually not like something that people go out of the way to teach you. You have to go out of your way to learn it, right? And I remember even being in high school, they were like, "Oh yeah, put this on your resume." And it was just lame. Like I looked at my resume that I brought to my interview. It was whack. It was really, really lame. It was like responsible for counting inventory for clothes at PacSun. Like, no one cares about that. Like, no one cares that you can count stuff. You know what I mean? I was responsible for hosting birthday parties and cleaning up afterwards. Like, no one really cares that you were a what is it, a guidance counselor? Like, I was a tour guide through a freaking warehouse. Like that's not impressive, right? So I want you guys to see how you can make little things sound like a big deal, and more importantly, how to again, just stand out in general. So the value of having a professional resume, especially today, is that and I'm literally just reading this because I want you guys to get the facts. 40% of students under the age of 25 don't get jobs mainly due to a lack of experience. Tuition and cost of school increases every year, and yet most students still aren't getting professional experience, which is leading them down a path of unemployment, which leads to greater amount of debt after college, along with prolonging the time span that they will spend in debt. Separating themselves from their peers, doing something against the grain pays off. Obviously, for those of you excited about branch opportunity, this is where you put on your resume. As a college student at the age of 18, 19, 20 years old, I had, again, the way that I'm saying it right now is very, very general, but have my name on the door. I write the checks, recruit, manage, develop people, hire and train a receptionist team. That's like the easiest way to explain it, but there's so much more detail, so much more profound as to what you can put on your resume that stands out. Like you look at Andrew Evans' resume and it's jaw-dropping. The guy's 19 years old, right? You look at any branch manager's resume and it's unbelievable, right? So one of the things that I want you guys to keep in mind is like literally 1 year from now, what your resume can look like from what you have right now and what you've accomplished up to this point in terms of sales and everything like that. Imagine what your resume can look like a year from now when you become, for those of you who are local, think about what you can put on your resume as far as being an assistant manager, manager in training throughout the fall and spring semester. For those of you who are going out of town and might not make the cut for a branch manager position, you can be an AM next summer. And by the end of next year, you can put on your resume like Kayla has, that she's been an assistant manager for an office that's responsible for over $1.5 million in sales, one of the top 5 offices in the entire company for a $250 million national marketing firm. How's that sound? Sounds sexy, I would say. Right?
Yeah.
She can put on her resume that she was responsible and directly and indirectly responsible for helping, coaching, and developing 3 to 5 scholarship winners from their office who ranked top 10, top 20, top 50, and the entire company out of 40,000 representatives. Even though it wasn't her, she can put that she was responsible in developing and training and coaching those people. Right? That's stuff that stands out because people can say, oh, wow, well, she knows how to develop people. She knows how to train people. She knows how to be patient with people. She knows how to take someone and start from scratch and help them develop their skills, right? That's also stuff that, I can put on resume too. But even one summer from what Kayla's done, from what Luke, Daniel, and the other AMs and FC or just anywhere in the company, they can put that stuff on their resume. So what I want to do really quickly, I want to go ahead and pass around a couple of examples of resumes, okay? The first one is Amy Chalif. Okay, Amy Chalif went to the University of Central Florida. She graduated in 2011. Her extent of working with Vector was she reached becoming a branch manager. Right. So let me just read this off for you. There's a couple in here. I'm just going to read a couple for you because just for the sake of time. So experience, and one of the things you want to keep in mind is, as far as like resumes, you never want to have it more than 1 page, 2 pages tops. And the second page, you only want to have references. Because no one wants to read. Like I've had people that come in for interviews and they're like, well, here's my resume. It's like 3 to 4 pages. And like, I'm going to be honest, I don't read it. Like I'll read a couple things, a couple highlighted things, but I'm not sitting there reading 4 pages of resume, right? And we talk about this interview, what are most employers looking for on a resume? Experience, right? They're looking for experience, not looking for numbers, looking for experience and what you've done, right? What you did to help support, so to speak. So, experience, starting from the top, going down to the bottom. Branch manager in Sarasota, Florida, developed and executed business plans, conducted training seminars, weekly team meetings, and personal consultations with representatives. Recruited, trained, developed, and motivated a sales force of 105 representatives for Cutco Cutlery, generating an office sales volume exceeding $140,000 in 3.5 months. Saved $10,000 of personal funds to start a business, handled all office expenses, including any office lease, and profited. Hired, trained, and managed a staff of 4 receptionists, secretaries, and 2 assistants. Screened, interviewed, and made hiring decisions for over 600 applicants. Delivered informational and motivational talks at 7 professional conferences. Ranked number 28 nationally out of 394 branch managers. This is a branch manager. Sounds pretty cool. Assistant manager. Helped plan and organize a marketing plan for a district office, provided weekly consultations for 50 to 100 representatives to assist with time management and goal setting, serving as a coach and an advisor. Helped plan office functions and assisted with interviewing applicants. Helped lead active advertising shifts, build a substantive sales force. As a salesman, as a field sales manager, or essentially what you're at right now, senior field sales leader. I think that's what it is. Yeah. SFSL. Yeah. Handled the direct sale of high-quality cutlery and culinary products for customers from initial contact to the close of a sale. Established new clientele through referral and lead generation. Field-trained new representatives offering a model of successful performance. Achieved highest sales rank within the company within 3 months with a 90% closing ratio and a personal sales exceeding $65,000. Attended 8 professional conferences as a sales representative with members of the corporate staff and was invited to speak at SC3 in August 2009. Right? Do you guys see how you can already start like plugging things in from what you've already done? Okay. Let me give you another example of things that other people did as sales representatives, right? I want to read to you what they've done as branch managers, and you can see what it says, but also as sales reps, because that's what it falls under the banner for you right now. This is Christopher Arthur Ritter. Okay, from Virginia Beach. As a sales representative for Vector Marketing Corporation, summer 2002 present, conducted over 175 in-home presentations of Cutco Cutlery product line, preset all appointments over the phone, generated personal references, clientele in Virginia Beach and Durham, personal sales exceeding $31,000 of Cutco Cutlery. As a branch manager, he put Vector Marketing Corporation, summer 2002, Chesapeake, Virginia. Independently recruited, trained, developed, and motivated a sales force of 110 representatives, developed and managed a staff of 1 assistant manager and 3 receptionist secretaries, interviewed over 400 applicants, developed a business plan, conducted weekly meetings, and handled all office expenses, including office lease. Generated office sales volume of $184,000, ranked number 12 branch office in sales in the Eastern region out of 35 branch offices, ranked number 8 in recruiting. Increased sales in a territory 80% over previous manager of Chesapeake office, who subsequently advanced to become the first ever assistant division manager in the Virginia division. Developed 6 candidates for management for the summer of 2003. Now, like when you're hearing this, what's like coming to mind?
Sounds like a 30-year-old, 35-year-old, 40.
Yeah, it's impressive. And by the way, this whole branch thing, 4 months, right? Assistant manager or sales representative, like 3 months. Right, so imagine what you can put over the course of a year, 2 years, etc. Okay, so I want to pass this around. I want you guys to take a look at them. There's like 3 of each. Okay, this is Lindsay Sutton. Yeah, just take one, pass it down. Okay. The thing that I want you to realize from a lot of these is that there's different templates, right? So some of them are very spaced. Some of them are very like look at this one. I mean, this one has a lot of information. Yeah. Right? The one thing they all have in common is at the very top, right, it has their phone number, their name, their address, email address, right, their contact information.
What's the right wording of like sales rep? Because she has like senior field sales manager.
Whatever your position is.
I'm just sales representative.
I have a couple more. Okay. Yeah, and you guys can take a picture of these, by the way. Put it on the WhatsApp if you want.
Okay. Can I see the third one?
Yeah, there's a couple. So this one, Denmore McDermott, right? Again, it's not just what you've done with Cutco. He also puts education. So Wake Forest, he had a bachelor's in arts psychology major, summer management program at Wake Forest. His professional experience includes, again, working for Cutco. He also was a tutor and a mentor, lab assistant. Some of the leadership activities they performed as a president member of Phi Beta Sigma fraternity, played varsity basketball, etc. Right, volunteer activities. So he has a little bit extra stuff that he had done on the side too, because again, you want to keep in mind, you don't want to just put Vector stuff. You don't want to just put Cutco stuff. You want to put a little bit of everything, but a lot of the Cutco stuff, outweighs a lot of, all the other stuff that you've done. And again, not to not to discredit like doing SGA and stuff like that in school. Like that's obviously important. The things that you've done in college at this point are obviously important as well. But again, this is just an example of what you can put. So he puts here office maintenance, coordinated the paperwork, responsibilities of the office, prepared the office for business meetings, trainings, interviews, and development, provided customer service over the phone, support for sales representatives to close sales. So that's stuff along the lines that Kayla could put at this point, right? Team leadership, personal sales, sold over $55,000 in personal sales of Cutco kitchen cutlery, attained a senior field sales manager position, #1 student in sales, representative in Baltimore during the summer of 2009, #2 in DC Metro. #2 DC Metro student in 2009, executed over 200 in-home Cutco presentations to customers and maintained a $450 average order in addition to a 90% closing ratio. Okay, so here's what I want you guys to do. Everyone take out a sheet of paper and pen. Go pick a pen. Or if you're using a laptop, that's
I
fine
don't
too.
know how many appointments we've done.
Count them out. Count out how many sales you've made, and then just like
Like no sales.
yeah, we'll just add like no sales. Okay. The first thing I want you to write down is where you're at in sales. Next, go ahead and write down how many promotions you've knocked out. So what do you think I'm going to tell you to put in your resume?
That.
Knocked out, or don't say knocked out, right? No, but let's say reached 2 promotions, 3, 4, 5 promotions within this many weeks.
How many promotions is it until 30%?
4.
4.
So 1, 3, 6, and 10.
What's today's date?
27.
Okay. So Alex, Annie, almost Anthony.
What?
So what's-
4 promotions.
yeah.
I'm at 4.
Yeah, you hit 3 promotions within 10 days of the job, my first 10 days. Right, within 10 days on the job, within 5 days on the job, I was able to surpass 4 promotions. Attain 4 promotions, however you want to say it. And I'm not going to tell you how to type it up. I mean, you guys can use whatever vernacular you use for that. In the meantime, I just want you to write down your stats, okay? Closing ratio, I'm going to write that down. Whatever it is, approximately.
We just put 60%.
Yeah. Depends on you.
The average?
Don't be average, Annie.
Average.
I think
Just
we're
add
above
it up
average.
when you get the chance, add how many demos you've done versus how many sales you have.
Doesn't it happen on Factory
Not,
How could you possibly track
Because you don't
no sales?
plug in no sales.
Yeah.
Because that was just, you don't put in.
You can track random days.
Wait, what about when like if I got paid base pay once?
No, I'm not any of that.
No. Like
You can
how-
track how many points you did.
Yeah,
the easiest way to do it is to look at your schedule.
I don't know what my schedule's on.
We'll give you a tack list. All right, anyways, average order. Go ahead and write down your average order. And again, you can see on a lot of these resumes how they worded it to help you write it up too.
Ricky, you can get like your closing ratio and your average order, like most of it would be like on your.
Average order would be on Vector Connect.
Vector
Closing
Connect.
ratio, you just have to do the math.
Yeah, the amount.
Okay, next I want you to write down how many recommendations,
Average.
how many recommendations you have, and how many you average. How many recommendations you've generated, approximately, and how many you average. Thank you, Jasmine. Okay, next thing you can write is how many appointments you've done, approximately. The easiest way is just go through the recommendation binder and see. It's so interesting, people putting like how they sell coffee. Sold 2 bags of coffee.
It's like $4.
No, I mean, it's just funny. Like, how do you say like sold 500 CPR, like sold 600, sold a complete set, sold 2 bags of
But
coffee.
I feel like nothing is impressive in coffee unless you sold like 50 bags. But like, who wants 50 bags?
Hey, it
My dad
adds up.
doesn't want
It's about long term.
Oh, yeah.
You can
You
give them.
actually have a
Wait.
buyout bonus where if you get coffee now.
You get a free signature set.
You get a free signature set for like, $16.49.
Are we allowed to, wait, I have a question. Are we allowed to get the coffee for free?
No.
Because they need a subscription.
It's like-
Yeah, here guys, I'll tell you something. Remind me to tell you something about the coffee later. I'll tell you what you can
What
do.
is, how many racks?
The paper that they gave us, should we put it in our binder?
Yeah, just remind me to tell you something about the coffee that's gonna help you sell a lot more.
The coffee talking about.
The new coffee we're selling.
Utopians.
Called Utopia. All right, guys, we're digressing. So, how many presentations you've completed? Okay. Write down your ranking in the office. If you don't know it, it's probably because you're not high
We
enough.
ranked after Andy. Does he count?
Wait,
That's a
Andy
bonus.
counts?
Can I put not the worst?
No.
What's the Wi-Fi password here?
Here, I can put it in for you.
Actually, I say
It's not fair. Andy counts.
course.
So I'm just
How
going.
sad would he be if you didn't count? Hey, Andy, you don't count for anything. How do you think he would
He makes
feel?
you look
Guys.
funny. He makes a lot more than we do. He's at half baby. I feel like.
Guys, we're recording, and I want to make sure I can use this for future reference. So, I really appreciate it. We kept the side conversations.
Thanks.
Where you rank nationally, right? So where you rank as, and by the way, if this doesn't apply to you, write this down still though, because at some point you might rank nationally. So write this down that way you don't forget later on to add it into your resume.
How many people is it out of?
30 to 40,000,
What?
something like that. Write down the conferences that you've been to. So I attended 3 conferences over my first summer. Finished number 5. Finished number 6 for the SC1 conference. Or whatever you ranked. Do you guys remember what you ranked? Or whatever it was.
What if you like didn't rank and get a trophy, but like you still rank like top 50?
Weren't you? Didn't you get trophy
I didn't
SC1?
get a trophy SC1 because I was out of town SC1.
Yeah, but didn't you still like 5K? You didn't.
I still got 5K, but
I'm saying, but you didn't finish top 10.
I didn't finish top 10. I know I finished like top 20.
Eli, I would even put, for those of you, you can even put in your finish number 1 in my training class. Finish number 2 in my training class. If you don't know those statistics off the top of your head, then let me know and I can talk to you. I can tell you about it. For those of you who have a ton of PRs on the team, was responsible for recruiting 2. Yeah. Responsible for recruiting 2 people for our sales force. Was responsible for generating over $300,000 in sales. I mean, not $300,000, but like however much it is. Like I can help you put the math together and add up how much collectively all of your, not PRs, but how much your like web has sold.
Okay.
That's stuff that stands out because it shows companies, obviously shows us that you can be a team builder. Are these how many resumes were there?
3 of each, and then there's like 4.
I have Demo McDermott, Chris, and Amy. Can I have Ben's?
There's a Lindsay also.
Ooh, can I see
I
this?
haven't seen
McDermott.
Oh. Should we say we preset appointments over the phone?
Yeah. So ready? And I was gonna add this in. And so I was gonna add this in. You can write down, conducted in-home presentations, demonstrating and explaining cultural products. I mean, something along the lines of that.
Can you read that one more time?
Yeah. So conducted in-home presentations, demonstrating and explaining Cutco products. There's many ways of saying it. So like handled the direct sales of high quality cutlery and culinary products to customers from initial contact to the close of the sale. Like that's another fancy way of saying it. Conducted over 175 in-home presentations of Cutco cutlery product line, preset all appointments over the phone, generated personal, etc. Did I tell you guys to put the average recommendations you receive per appointment?
Yeah.
See, like for example, Lindsay put ranked among top 70 sales representatives out of over 7,000 reps in the Eastern region. Or you can even break it down to your division. And again, you guys want these stats, like let me know, and I can show you how to find them. All right, so ranked number 1 in my office, number 4 in the division, number 7 in the entire Eastern region. And the way you can present how much you've sold and generate personal sales volume exceeding $42,000. This one put networked and created leads to generate over $47,000 of business in 1 year period. Okay. And if you guys take a look at these resumes, if you go on Microsoft Word, and depending on what year you have, you can put like resume templates, and it shows you a bunch of like templates, right? So make it look something similar to this. And the reason why is because I just like the way that a lot of these are formatted. Like I like this one. This one's kind of like very, very basic. It looks like it was put together overnight. Let's be honest. This one's nice. This one, again, it's also like, I wouldn't say like aesthetically, it has to be, that's the most important thing, how it looks. But it's nice to have something that's like, very, like looks nice. Another thing too to keep in mind is you also don't want to have your resume printed out on regular paper. You want to get like a nice, and don't spend too much money on this. Again, for your AGL interview, I wouldn't, break your back trying to find nice, thicker paper. But you do want to have like a nicer paper.
Professional paper.
Huh? Yeah, professional paper. I had this one guy who gave me he didn't give me a resume, but he gave me like one of his papers that he usually prints things out that are official documents of his. And it's like official, like he has a little stamp. It's like not even a stamp, it's like ingrained, like his initials, like onto the paper. I was like, it's pretty legit. Yeah, and then I upgraded him to like a signature set. It was awesome. I was like, you can definitely afford. If you can afford to engrave stuff into your paper, like you can afford more Cutco. So, anyways, okay. Do you guys have any? I'll pass these around for those. I know I collected it from some of you guys. So, I don't have any questions. Any questions whatsoever? Does this give you a lot of clarity? Yeah.
Yeah.
What's like the biggest thing you're taking away from this?
Well,
Yeah.
all of
Yeah, you
I
raise
would
your hand.
understand the concept of like stretching stuff, but you're able to kind of like stretch it, but also make it fuller still. Like you're not stretching yourself thin.
Yeah, you're also not embellishing it to a certain degree where it's like really like you.
Like how you would like glorify the pack something.
Yeah, exactly. There's only so much you can glorify. Like, was responsible for presetting new arrangements on. Like, you can't make it sound as that glamorous because it's just not. You know what I mean? So yeah.
okay, so all of these people have under experience only vector stuff, and then their college stuff is under activities. Is that like?
Can you just like move?
Like, okay, for example, let's say like I'm a student writer for a newspaper.
Mhm.
Does that go under activities?
Yeah, I mean, no. Put it under education. Under education. I mean, I guess for that I would put it under activities because I mean it's not really.
Right. Well, okay, because I only have one thing, a
Mhm.
vector, to go under my experience, and that's obviously going to be the first thing. But then should like my clubs in college all go under activities?
Yeah.
Even if I was leadership and I have things I can say about them.
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, again, like Andrew can put that he was voted the number one, like 100% out of all his pledge costs to be the or the president. Rather.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I like butchered that. I'm not good with fraternity and sorority terminology. All right. Yeah, no, I mean, obviously make sure you're putting your extensive education on here and all the activities that you've done as well. So, I mean, he even puts your skills, or she puts your skills, computer, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, foreign language,
Yeah.
proficient in written and spoken French. So I'm not saying don't put that stuff, because that stuff is important. You want people to know that. The section I'm just covering right now is just like Kafka stuff. So, like, remember I was talking to Andrew about this, and Andrew's like, when he first started working here, he was also working at a movie theater. And he's like, oh, well, I was like, dude, you should like totally quit that job, like work here full time, make more money, learn more, advance faster, this and that. He goes, like, I understand where you're coming from, Ricky, and like, trust me, like, I don't want to work at the movie theater. The thing is, like, if I quit now, I mean, when I put on a resume that I worked there for only 3 months, they're going to be like, well, this guy can't commit to things because I worked there for 3 months. And I was like, Andrew, putting that you worked at a movie theater in the first place isn't impressive. I mean, to be honest, right? And I mean, he'll tell you that right now. He's like, yeah, I know, for sure. So I wouldn't even put that I worked at a movie theater because it doesn't really matter. So regardless of how long you work there, like, would I still put that I worked at PacSun and Jumpers and the bar and working for my uncle? Like, sure, but I wouldn't put all the things that I was responsible for doing, all that detail. I would just put that I've had experience working in other places, and it's important putting the longevity of it. Like, the shortest job that I ever had was 1.5 years, and that was at the bar. Everything else was at least 2 years. So I wouldn't put all the responsibilities that I had working there, because none of that stuff is really impressive. That stuff doesn't really stand out. But I can put that on there so someone can ask me, oh, by the way, when you worked at PacSun, right? If they were to ask me about it, which probably wouldn't even happen, I can explain, I can elaborate. But the most important stuff is the stuff that you've done here at this point, probably, right? So. And any other questions, comments, feedback, light bulbs? I mean, anything else you're taking away from this? A couple of you have already earned a President's Club award, so that's something else that you can put on your resume. If you sold up to $10,000 at this point since May, then even if you haven't received a physical copy of it, you can put on your resume. You can already put that you've received the President's Club award.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Let me read it to you guys, because I think it's important.
I don't even know what that is.
What's the
Hey, what up? Hey. Senior.
President's Awards?
Hey.
Okay, so you guys will get something like this. And on the back it says, to whom it may concern, it is with great pleasure that I submit to you my recommendation of whoever it is, who is associated with our company in a sales capacity during 2015. As a sales rep for Vector, this person has received an extensive training in interpersonal communications, time management, and the importance of individuals' attitude regarding their accomplishments. In addition to attending our professional training seminar, he also or she also attended conferences where he or she participated in extensive workshops with individuals in his or her peer group and managers of the corporate staff. I have received the highest personal recommendation from this person's divisional manager, Jeff Gamboa, during his or her time with us. They have won many sales awards. They have distinguished themselves not only through the sales performance, but as a potential leader through involvement in the operation of our district our district office. As a result, he or she is amongst a special group of individuals honored by me as a member of our President's Club. This honor is reserved for our highest achievers, and we are very proud of his or her accomplishments. Any individual within our organization that achieves this distinction certainly is a highly motivated and talented individual. Direct sales have long been recognized as a proving ground for successful business people from all walks of life. It requires hard work, self-discipline, and a willingness to accept challenge and a high degree of personal responsibility. This person is such an individual, and this is why I feel comfortable in passing along my personal recommendation to you. In closing, let me invite you to contact me personally at our corporate headquarters if you have any questions. Also, feel free to contact our local divisional manager, Jeff Gamboa, at etc. Thank you for this opportunity to submit my feelings about this fun young individual. Very truly yours, Albert D. Leonardo, CEO, Vector Sales, President, Vector East, Vector Marketing Corporation. I mean, that's awesome. I read it to my mom and she got goosebumps. I was like, Mom, they send the same ones to everyone. She goes, I know, but still, that's awesome. So I have 5 of these. And to that point, you can also put how many you've received at the accepted time that you've been here. You might have gone 2. I'm not even sure.
You don't get one every single 10.
I'm not 100% positive.
What are the awards called? If you sold 1,000 in a week at, just out of curiosity. That's just a club
Say
award.
on the newsletter.
Oh,
Yeah, you could put that too. It was recognized on the national newsletter, the weekly newsletter, a regional newsletter, this many times.
For consistency.
Mhm.
yeah.
Alex, you can put on your resume that was part of the consistency club for over 8 weeks in a row. Any recognition that you ever received, put it.
How many bullets do you suggest for things on your resume? Because I have 3.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because these people wrote a lot.
Again, find things that you can write about.
Okay.
I wouldn't.
Is it annoying for you to look through resumes that have more than 4 bullets per thing?
Not if it's impressive.
Are you gonna read it?
Will I read yours? Yeah. By the way, if you guys want,
In general,
you can send it to me and I'll review it before you make an official one. I'll give you tips for your resume. So, any other questions? Anyone? Going once, going twice.
Chicken soup.
Any other feedback? Light bulbs?
It's good.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Because I've been out of town a lot, and can I more on 40,000 this summer? Could I be as a total amount of days that I've been working on the job because I've been out of town, or maybe a total of a month of working? Can I be I sold $40,000 within actually working a total of
Within 8 weeks.
80 days?
Yeah. Exactly. Don't put because I was out of town.
Oh, yeah.
Well, do I
But yeah,
include
just put
while
within
I
8
was
weeks
at school?
within 8 weeks I was able to attain for over $40,000 in sales. However many weeks, I don't know how many weeks you worked collectively. You could also, I guess you could put while. No, again, you don't want to get too many details. While attending University of Florida, was able to sell over $3,000.
Yeah.
Cool. Trying to think of other things that you can also write on there.
Well, okay, question.
Yeah.
If I transfer it to the Gainesville office, what do I do about where, the location? Because I'm gonna be a sales rep there also. I'm a sales rep.
Does it have anything to do with the resume?
Yeah, you put the location on your resume.
Just put Fort Lauderdale for now.
Yeah, just for Lauderdale.
Okay.
This is your home office, huh?
You see, you work for 2 branches possibly.
Yeah, you can, but I would just put that you started off in the Fort Lauderdale office.
Yeah.
You don't have to put transfer to this one.
Well, just in general, because I'll probably use the resume for leadership stuff.
Mhm.
That's true.
You can even put again for those of you who get accepted to management training, you can put within 3 months on the job was accepted for a management position. Andrew can put within 2 months on the job was promoted to a manager in training position.
And they put Alliance.
Yeah, it was part of a 10K alliance, or was part of an elite sales force that was responsible for over $265,000 on an 18-day.
Same with
Period.
key staff.
Yeah, was part of key style. That's right. Thank you, Kayla.
247,000.
265,000. Promoted to key staff. Again, you can also put was part of a nationally ranked district office that finished number 4 in a sales competition or something along the lines of that. I'm sorry.
Just say
I don't know.
regional.
I don't know how many offices there are. It's just a regional. You could put let's just say each division has 30 offices, 30 times 6. So 306. Yeah, 180. Sorry. I was thinking 676. Over 180 offices. No, I was thinking if they can like type and ask questions at the same time. Probably not. All right. Cool. So I'm gonna talk to you guys for a couple more seconds, but I won't say this all. So if anyone that is watching this has any questions, feel free to either text me or email me. So, and you probably already have my email if you're watching this because I know who's watching this.